right now we're on Roman Highway, and we're headed toward Dinalupion and Clark and Angeles, and then we'll get on the NLEX and head towards Manila. And we'll exit at the Skyway and take that to Buendia, I believe, is where we're going to exit. And from there to Shell Residences, which is right there by the Mall of Asia, or what they call MOA. And yeah, so that's what we're doing. So one thing I wanted to share with y'all about Roman Highway, they have just installed a series of cameras, what they call, and speed control devices called no apprehension.
No contact apprehension.
Yeah, no contact apprehension. So basically, this is a device, if it catches you speeding, they just, I think within 10 days, they send you a ticket in the mail, and yeah, you got to pay it. I don't have a big problem with that, except for the fact that I question the accuracy of their devices and how often they will calibrate and check that calibration. I've just started setting my cruise control at 80 kilometers per hour so that because I have a heavy foot, and I don't need any additional expenses. So there's one of the signs coming up right here on the right. It talks about the speeds, the different modes of transportation. I think private vehicles are 80 kilometers per hour. Trucks, I think it drops down to 60. Motorcycles, I think they're 70. I'm not real sure. But yeah, got to be careful, I guess, now. And there are a lot of accidents on this road, most of them involving buses and tricycles and scooters and automobiles, and a lot of construction and a lot of people crossing the street on foot, and it's 6 lanes in places, so it's a challenge to get down Roman Highway, sometimes better than others. Kind of need to slow down at intersections that are major intersection and crossing points for people, because it's just it can be kind of chaotic, a lot more chaotic than the U.S. People tend to follow the laws and the rules a little bit better in the U.S. At least my experience in Texas, they do. The driving's a little less stressful there. But yeah, just a little tidbit for you. They just put these in a couple of weeks ago, and I think they're as of the middle of the month, which I think we're there, they're going to start issuing citations. So if you're coming down Roman Highway, be careful. So we are approaching the entrance into what's called the SCTEX. It's the start of the toll road system down here in Bataan. Subic Bay in Olongapo. But this is where we get on. It's called Dinalupihan. I think I pronounced it wrong earlier. I tend to call it Dinalupihan, but it's Dinalupihan. This is part of Bataan. This is, I think, the northern end of Bataan. This is where we will enter the toll road system, and then from there we'll get off at Clark onto NLEX, headed to Manila. They have these checkpoints coming into the different provinces. It took me some getting used to tell people where I'm going. Americans don't like that, especially Texans. We don't like to have to tell people what we're doing and where we're going, but they've gotten to where they recognize us now. They just kind of wave us through. But earlier, my beginnings here, I had to tell them I was going home. And I always invited them to come home with me. That usually got me just pushed on through the checkpoint. Something that's a little different here in the Philippines. This would be what's equivalent to an interstate, I guess, in the U.S., these toll roads. People here tend to drive in the left-hand lane. And then maybe might move over to the right-hand lane occasionally. Whereas we drive typically in the right-hand lane and pass on the left. That's the way it's supposed to be here, and there's actually quite a bit of signage saying overtaking left lane only. Nobody here really follows it. Trucks, everybody kind of just sit in the left lane, and it does make me a little nuts, but I'm gradually getting used to it. So, but this, if you ever get down to Bataan and you get on the SCTEX, the scenery here is absolutely breathtaking. The mountains, the rice fields, the Bayou Cubos. This is what I think of when I think of the Philippines, and it absolutely fits the thought process. So if you ever get to Luzon, come across the bay. I guess we're on the opposite side of the bay from Manila, and Bataan is a province that if you are a World War II history buff, you're familiar with the Bataan Death March. This is where that occurred. So, but a very beautiful place. We've enjoyed. We've been here almost a year now, and really enjoyed Balanga City and Bataan. times a month. I have a post office box at the VFW here that I get some mail at. And we go to a place called S&R, which is almost identical to a Sam's Club in the U.S. We kind of stock up on bulk items for the month, and there's a good mall here called SM Clark. We like to come up here and get a little Cinnabon and walk around a little bit. So really nice place to come for us. Has a lot more than Balanga does. Balanga has a lot of things, but this area has a lot more. Also has a Medical City Clark, which is almost an American-style hospital. I think I've had to use it once. A few years back, I got dehydrated. My wife had to take me there for some help, and they did a great job. So, yeah, it's a good place. We're coming up on NLEX. It's like about 1 kilometer, and this is where we will exit to go around Angeles and head down to Manila. entire length of EDSA. Jen and I have been on that many, many times back in the day, and back then it was like being in a can with sardines. I would imagine with all the COVID stuff, I guess it's not as crowded. We haven't had to ride it since we bought a car, so just wanted you to see the MRT. It actually runs in between the traffic all the way the length of EDSA. Okay guys, we're approaching MOA area, Mall of Asia area. We'll be going to these condos up here on the right called Shell Residences. We've actually spent quite a bit of time in this area back when Jen and I were dating. And that's where we're going to be staying for a couple nights while I take care of some medical appointments at the VA outpatient clinic here in Pasay.
这一次我真的睡着了。
Hey guys, we just got to our condo here at Shell Residences. We are in Tower B and right next to MOA, right across the street from MOA, which MOA stands for Mall of Asia, for those of you that don't know that acronym. Largest mall that I know of, I think in the world. I could be wrong, but it's pretty big. And so we're going to stay here for a couple of nights, and I've got a couple of appointments tomorrow at the VA clinic, which is not too far from here. But Shell Residences is we always know that the rooms here, we stayed at Airbnb, and the rooms here are always very well taken care of and very safe, very comfortable condo building. The good, the bad, the Philippines.